Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Swain, the Master Tactician. Swain is a caster who specializes in taking down single targets and disabling enemies. Deathfire Grasp and Riley's Crystal Scepter are two huge must-have items for reasons I'll show you throughout this video. Swain's passive, Carrion Renewal, gives him a mana regeneration buff for a few seconds whenever he kills an enemy minion or champion. Unfortunately, we didn't have all his icons ready when I recorded this game, so a few of Swain's icons are images of Karthus. Swain's Q spell is Decrepify, or as we call it here at Riot, the Laser Bird. Laser Bird deals damage and slows a single target over 3 seconds. However, the spell is on a tether, so enemies can walk out of range to break it early. You may choose to max Laser Bird first, but I choose to max it second, after Torment. On W is Nevermore. You target an area on the ground, and after a short delay, targets hit by it are rooted in place for a few seconds. Because the only meaningful level up is cooldown, I keep Nevermore at 1 point until level 14. Torment is on E. It deals damage over 4 seconds, and also deals extra damage every second based on how much you've hurt your target. This bonus damage compounds on itself, so front-loading damage with Deathfire Grasp will heavily increase your damage output. As Swain's main damage spell, I max Torment right away. Ravenous Flock is Swain's ultimate. He transforms into a raven and sends out pets to nearby enemies. The pets also return to heal him for a portion of the damage dealt. My runes are standard for offensive casters: Magic Penetration, Marks, and Quintessences, Mana Regeneration per level Seals, and flat cooldown reduction Glyphs. This gives me great damage output while also multiplying my passive. My masteries are 9-0-21, making sure to take Magic Penetration, cooldowns, neutral buff duration, and mana regeneration. I take Ignite and Flash to increase my damage output and maneuverability, which are two things Swain desperately needs. Ignite becomes more powerful with Torment, and I can Flash to escape enemies or to initiate a full combo. Right at level 1, you want to assess your lane. Swain is a great solo mid champion, so look at whom you're fighting. For someone like Tristana, who is easy to harass and relies on last hits, you want to be extremely aggressive because you'll win all your fights. Against someone like Vladimir, however, I'm wasting my time harassing him, should be focusing more on last hitting enemy minions. Let's look at Swain's default spell combo. Open with Laser Bird, which will slow your opponent so that you can catch up to Torment and prevent him from dodging Nevermore. Follow up by last hitting a minion to recoup your mana cost and keep at it. This skill order will change in other circumstances, but while laning, you should always try to keep preparing the QEW combo. Here's a general tip. Never ever put yourself this far forward when your opponents have a jungler. It's way too easy for Warwick to crush me when this happens. This problem can be avoided by dropping wards in the river near the brush in mid. Your ideal combo for damage output is Nevermore, Torment, Laser Bird. Unfortunately, Nevermore was down for this fight, but since I knew Tristana would fight rather than run, I hit Torment before Laser Bird. If you cast your spells quickly enough, your first tick of damage will apply before Torment's first damage check, giving you the best synergy with its multiplicative effect. In the aftermath, I use Ravenous Flock with my passive to recoup some health and mana. Finding Vladimir in mid, I do two things. I hold off on casting Nevermore or Torment until after he Sanguine Pools, but I also make a silly mistake. It's okay to overshoot Nevermore, because if your opponent turns around to dodge it, he'll just stay in range of Ravenous Flock and another Laser Bird. But I cast it too short, so he just walked right past it. Now, let's look at your positioning in a big fight. At first, I feel safe, because Vladimir has overextended. However, Warwick hits me with his ultimate and forces me to flash out. Seeing no one close to him, I walk back in for Laser Bird and Torment. Once I see he's guaranteed to die, I run backwards. This allows me to dodge Tristana's rocket jump, use Ignite and Deathfire Grasp to drop her, and again back off when I know she'll die. This is actually a really big deal with casters. Because you have to wait for cooldowns to be effective, you should try to stand somewhere safe while waiting for them. Here's the third order for your skills. If you're afraid of your opponent dodging Nevermore, you want to cast it right after Laser Bird with Torment at the end. If you cast Torment in time, you'll be able to land Nevermore's damage before the first damage check on Torment. Finally, I get into a fight where I get to use most of my full combo. Ravenous Flock with Riley's Crystal Scepter slows Warwick so I can catch up. I screw up and actually use Deathfire Grasp before Torment, so make sure to cast them in the right order yourself. Regardless, my slows allow the rest of my team to catch up and kill him. Thanks for tuning in to the Swain Champion Spotlight. Get out there and grab Swain because
victory awaits.